Record button. By a show of thumbs like this, who got their one thing for last week accomplished? He is all excited. Sarah got hers. Jordan?
Here. Yeah, I worked out once, so it's better than none. It's better than it's like this.
Okay. I hope it turns this way so I get you at the end of the month.
No, that's the weekly thing. The monthly thing, I've already fucked that all. Oh, I got that done. It's a wrap.
Oh, all right.
I get the monthly thing done in a week because that's more important to me.
Okay. Who else got their weekly task? Their weekly, I got to get this thing done to move my needle. Only a couple of you guys, huh? So who penalized themselves? Those of you that didn't get it done, who penalized yourself?
We're not penalizing ourselves for the month yet, right?
Is the month over?
No.
Then you don't got to penalize yourself for it.
Okay.
Or penalize, as you like. But your week, I told you to set something for the week.
I did do my thing for the week. I did.
All right. So no penalty needed for you. Some of you guys weren't on last Monday and you're like, what the heck are we even talking about? So I got to be on the Monday calls, right? So that you can have that set. So today we're gonna kind of do something similar. But I want to get deeper into kind of this whole concept around, I hear it thrown around too much the wrong way, time management, right? Time management. I don't manage my time. And I don't know how many of you guys have ever tried to manage time. It's not very doable. Why is it not doable? We can't turn down the clock. We can't slow it down. We can't hit pause. We can't restart on time. Time ticks. It's an infinite thing that just keeps going, and we have to conform to it. So before we get into, we're going to probably pop into some breakout groups, talk about a couple things amongst each other, and kind of figure out what our objective is for this week. I want to break down a little bit of a system for you. And I don't have slides or pictures or anything, so you guys are going to have to envision this. If I handed you a jar, and some of you guys have probably done this exercise physically or have heard this analogy, but if I handed you a jar and I handed you 3 different sizes of objects to go in there. Let's say one was decently sized rocks. The next one was more like pebbles. And the final object that I handed you was a set amount of sand. And I told you all 3 of these are physically capable of fitting every ounce of it into the jar. How many of you guys would immediately grab the sand and start pouring it in?
Good.
Bob, you say yes?
Hell no.
Okay, smart call. I heard you say good.
Good that nobody raised their hand.
Most people, that's what they would do. They'd say, okay, cool. I'm going to grab all the sand. I'm going to pack all the sand down in there. I'm going to try to pack it down, right? How many of you think you would go for the pebbles first? Got a smart group. Nobody wants to own to that one. That's the second move. Most people end up grabbing the pebbles and start shoving the pebbles in there, thinking they can push it down into the sand, make room for it, right? And then they finally grab the larger rocks and they throw those in, hoping that they've created enough space to get them in. When in reality, the way to get your rocks, your pebbles, and your sand into the jar is to actually start with the rocks first. Throw all the rocks in. Then I can take all the pebbles and I could pour those in because they're going to filter they're going to kind of like move their way into the voided space, the empty space around all the bigger rocks. And they're going to fit. And then I can finally take the sand, which is even smaller, and pour it in. It's going to find all those little areas that are left open. And as I pour it in, I can shake it and pour it and shake it, and I'll eventually get all that sand in there because I'll be able to get it to work into all the little cracks and crevices, right? And after I do that way, I can put the lid on it and boom, I've got the jar with my rocks, my pebbles, and my sand. Now, how does this relate to our week, our month, our year? Rocks. Those are the big things. Right? I know the rock has to get into the jar. Think of your jar as your week. When Friday comes, I need to say that I filled my jar completely with everything that had to get done throughout the course of the week. And how many of you guys have ever gotten to Friday, said you're going to end your week, and then look back and went, man, I still got a lot of stuff I never got done this week. A lot of stuff that I avoided. Reason why, just like the person who would grab the sand and try to pour the sand in the jar first, we fill our week with too much pointless stuff. Meaning it's not priority. It really doesn't move the needle. Really doesn't impact the success of our business this week. We get focused on things that don't necessarily need to be done right now. Not that they don't need to be done, but let's say it's the monthly tab. You just heard Jordan. I'm going to pick on him because I can't penalize him at the end of the month now, but I'll pick on him. He was so scared about failing the monthly goal that he put it in front of his weekly stuff, got the monthly stuff knocked out last week. But what did he fall short on? What he said needed to happen for the week. That's kind of his weekly priority. Keep him moving forward, right? Now, is that bad? Sure, because I want to pick on him. He got the monthly done, but he missed out on some weekly stuff. So now he's going to have to backtrack a little bit, depending on what those tasks might be. So as we look at our week, and our week is the jar, we have to ask ourselves, what is the rocks of my week? And when I sit down to go after the week, my sole focus needs to be on ensuring I get the rocks done. And as I make sure that the rocks are getting done, then I can look back and say, okay, where can I fit some time in now to knock out the pebbles? So to give an idea, I have a couple rocks on my schedule this week. Are they happening today? No. But tomorrow, I'm going to spend a little bit of time working on one of those rocks. On Thursday, I'm going to spend the rest of the time working on the other big rock that I need. I already planned that out. I know exactly when tomorrow and when on Thursday I'm going to attack those two. So now I can start to look at some of my pebbles for the week, some of my important tasks, but not so important that they have to happen this week, right? I got a couple things that I need to get in place and get ready for a couple weeks from now for the Unleash Your Inner Lion event. Well, those don't have to happen this week, but if I can get to them, it'd be great, right? So I'll filter those into it. I also have a big project at the house that I've got to get it done before Deanna's sister's wedding in a couple weeks at our home. Well, that's not like super important because I can't make it all happen this week, but it's kind of important. So I've built in some time this week to know, all right, these days at these hours, I'm going to actually be at home working on that, knocking that out. Then I can look down at the sand and I can say, all right, what sand do I really want to focus on? Sand being the fun things, or some of us are very creative. I look at somebody like JP, who's kind of creative like me and might have some new ideas for some things in the business. Maybe it's a new automation. Maybe it's a new design. Maybe it's something cool I want to do with my mascot of the business or something like that. For me, I'm working on a sand project here and there that's, kind of more on our front end, on our welcome side for our clients. Well, there's no set priority to that. There's no deadline that has to happen. It's just when I can get to that, it'd be nice to get it there. So in between the other times, like days like today was a good day to work on it because I got a bunch of meetings, but I don't have enough time between meetings to start focusing on more of a pebble or a larger rock because I just won't get the work in for that. Does it make sense so far? Just give me a thumbs up. So as I look across the week, I've heard this from a number of you guys now over the last couple of weeks. It's like, yeah, I just haven't gotten to that. Yeah, I know I need to, but I haven't, put that in there. These are the type of items that should become rocks or pebbles, right? and take a look at some of the stuff that you're allowing yourself to get consumed by that really aren't moving that needle too much, that have really kind of consumed a lot of time with no payout. I guarantee you guys have all heard the saying, 80% of your results come from what? Sal, unmute yourself. I saw you saying it. You're still muted. It's a great answer. I can lip read, but
20%.
20%, right? The good old 80-20. 80% of your results come from 20% of the actions that you put in. Problem is too many businesses, too many business owners, too many people like us, entrepreneurs. We focus on the 20% of things that give us 80% of our results. And we get there a lot slower. So the challenge that I want you to do this week, think about it for a couple minutes here. Kind of look at your week, and then in the chat, I want you to just throw in the chat your 1 or 2, and that's the other thing that I'm very big on. Max would be like 3, and that's only if you've got some really good dedication and focus on this. But 1 or 2 major rocks for the week. Put some thought to it, and in the chat, I want you to just put what your focus is going to be this week. And you may not know how it's going to get done. You may not know all the details around it just yet. You may not know the exact elements of all of it. You just know, like, this by next Monday when I get on this call, this is my 1 or 2 major things I've got to get done. I see a couple of you guys throwing them in, so I'll give it a second, let the rest of you guys start to throw those in, and then I'm going to start reading some of them off and go from there. So, all right, cool. Let's do this. So Liz says, cleaning up our pipelines. Obviously, you mean inside of your system, right? The lead vault system, cleaning up the pipeline, maybe cleaning up stages, right? Kind of getting some things organized. Sal says, finish 2022 business plan. So try to nail down what the plan is, right? For this year across the board. Sophia, prospecting and marketing. Sophia, go a little bit deeper than that. What do you mean? Unmute yourself real quick. Take prospecting, number 1. What do you mean by a big rock of prospecting? What does that look like to you?
Actively looking for deals, as in on MLS, for sale by owners, just actively looking, analyzing, and submitting offers.
Okay. How many of you guys agree that could consume a lot of time? Next thing you know, it's Friday and you didn't get to anything else and you've done just that all week. Yeah. So when I see a task like that, a big rock, like something like prospecting, which is businesses, we should be doing this how often? Sometimes or all the time?
All the time.
All the time. How much time are you going to put to the prospecting throughout the week?
I've allocated 2 hours a week. 2 hours a day. Sorry, 2 hours a day per week.
Okay, so 2 hours a day. So that someone like that or something like that, we can actually look at it as we start to look at our days going forward, right? We got the rest of today, a little bit of time left, depending which time zone you're in. But starting tomorrow, we look at it and we're like, okay, what 2 hours, where in that day do 2 hours that I'm going to focus on that big rock? Wednesday, where's that 2 hours? Thursday, where's that 2 hours, right? Friday, where's that 2 hours go? Same thing with marketing. Elaborate on that a little bit. Define that.
So for me, for marketing, sorry about all the background noise. Okay. So for me, that's keeping track of what I have going out so far, such as the letters, the emails, and the text messages, and just following up with all of that. Like keep like a cycle going with all of those people that I have on my list and just keep it going until I get something back.
Just listen to that mixed with prospect. How many of you guys think either one of those could suddenly consume her entire day if she doesn't pay attention? And next thing you know, Friday comes and it's like, well, I did really good with prospecting, but I fell short on the marketing side and tracking and following up. Or I did really well on the tracking and following up, but I didn't actually do any new prospecting. Didn't go after anybody new. I just followed up on all the old stuff. So same exact thing. I would challenge you to schedule 2 different time frames throughout your day. Not back to back, because now we're allowing it to feed into each other, right? I would schedule 2 totally different time frames in your day. That, hey, first thing in the morning, I'm going to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm just going to do some new prospecting. I'm going to jump into the MLS. I'm going to do some searching. I'm going to look at this. Something catches my eye. I'm going to do an analyzer and I'm going to throw out an offer on it. Be done with it. 2 hours. Boom. Done for the day. Right. And I'm going to go do some pebbles and some sand for a little while. Then later in the afternoon, I'm going to come back and I'm going to sit down. I'm going to kind of take care of some of the marketing stuff. I'm going to update some things. I'm going to check on stuff, do some follow-ups, maybe schedule some follow-up appointments for the next day or two. And then I'm done with it. Then I can get back into some pebbles and sand kind of thing. That way, by the end of the week, we can say, hey, I put some time into both of these and I'm help move the needle forward in both. That make sense, Sophia? Michelle said, it's not Michelle though. Marie.
Sorry, I have to
Michelle
drive
Wilker.
my son and I have to sign in on my phone.
Michelle Wilker is actually Marie. Marie says new videos. What videos? How many?
3 videos specifically for the new location pages.
Got it.
Intro
we got
videos.
3 videos by the end of the week that got to get done, right? That's one big rock. But now it comes down to, how do I want to schedule that? Can I knock all 3 out at one time? Boom, boom, boom. Or do I actually need a little bit of time? So I want to schedule maybe 2 or 3 different chunks to knock those videos out, right? JP, systemized text message campaigns in Lead Vault. Very similar to Liz, right? Got to do some cleanup in there. This is more kind of operations / administrative type work. This is another one that if not watched well, we can consume our entire week. And before you know it, all right, we got sucked in and the week goes by. We're like, well, I got that done, but nothing else got accomplished. My suggestion, same thing that anytime I want to do new systems or new automations or something like that in Lead Vault, I actually schedule a time frame during my week that from this hour to this hour, that's all I'm going to work on. That way I can just, boom, be in focus for that. And then I'm off of it and I'm done. And I know that I spent my time on there. Liz, same thing, said record some videos, probably the same thing as Marie. You guys got them together. Tony, unmute yourself for a second.
I had the same problem as Sophia.
Okay, so property list and marketing. What do you mean by that?
Find properties, make offers, et cetera, and then, or send postcards, things like that. Yeah.
Okay. So that's actually just like I said to Sophia, right? Schedule a window of time. Don't just say, hey, all week, this is what I'm focusing on. What do you mean by bathroom remodel?
I'm remodeling my bathrooms.
Oh, you and I are together. Trying to knock out our half bath really fast before the wedding.
Have fun.
Same thing, right? Just like I do. Schedule time in. I know that these days, these hours, that's where that's going to get focused on. Outside of that, I got other things to do.
Yeah.
Bob, build 2022 plan. That's a good one. Find GC. Those are very easy to measure right there. I got to find a GC this week. Not I want to network with GC. It's like I got to find a GC this week. Boom, easy to measure. Same thing with the build 2022 plan. You know it's got to get done. You know what needs to happen. Boom, by the end of the week. Can I say that got done? Same thing though. Both could be very time consuming if not watched. Chris said finalize content for mailers. That's an easy one too. very specific, know what we need to do. Keith, line up hard money and private money. Reach preparation on determining automated text system. So those are both very easy. Now line up hard money and private money. If you got a project that we're trying to line it up for, that's measurable. If we're just looking for, same thing, right? Jen, I just saw your direct message come in. Email support, please. They can jump on it a lot faster than by the time I get to them, because it's going to be.
I did. I just wanted you to be aware of the email that it's coming from.
Got it. It's an MX record is all it is. Chris, get Lead Vault up and running. Get latest content edited. Very specific, easy to do. Lorraine, real estate, set up Lead Vault. Finish Cadence. I'm not going to even believe you on the setup Lead Vault thing. I've been hearing that for like 4 months. So when I see it, I'll believe it.
It's because it's the rocks and the sand. It's like I am just overwhelming myself with the whole transition. So that is my goal for this week.
Big rocks. Focus on those in that initial step. On the tax side, get client portal set up, get pricing structured and finalized. That super easy, very specific, right? I like that. Jen, my number one goal is to monitor my week every 15 minutes. So I have a clearer picture of what to pass off to. Explain that, Jen. This one's interesting.
So I do a lot of tedious shit during the day and I want to just pass it off to someone. And so I can use my 20% time, going back to your original rule, and using it to the extent. And so there's, this is what I have so far. This is small, but this is every hour of the day, every 15 minutes. Actually, it's not the whole day. It starts at 6 and ends at 11. But everything that I do, whether it's like I had to do some laundry today, hey, I'd love to pass that off to an assistant. Just things that, going to that 20%, what you said.
Love that. I was going to actually see if I can share my. Nope, I don't have the cord on me. And I'm having that AirPlay issue. See, John, I wanted to share my iPad right now too. It'd be AirPlay, and I'm having that issue. I need the cord to do it hard. I was going to draw it out because it makes more sense. Does anybody else feel like this, where you've got like a lot of stuff happening throughout the day and you're wondering what's actually sucking your day away? Got a couple of head nods. Do you guys like a little system that really helped me years ago to get better at controlling my time? This actually happened when I was on the recruiting field. When I was a recruiter with the Marine Corps, my billet, my boss, our office manager, basically our head recruiter, every single day he would make me sit down with him. And here's what we would do. I would come in and I would show him my plan for the day. So imagine a calendar right now. And you've got 8 to 8:30, 9 to 9:30, 9:30 to 10, right? So on and so all the way down. However you want to do it, 15-minute increments, 30-minute increments, hour increments, however you want to set it up. And then right next to that time, you got blocks that you can fill out what you're going to do. He would have us draw a line in the middle of the block. The left-hand side of the line is what we plan to do. So I would come in and I'd sit down and I'd say, all right, boss, from 9 to 9:30, I'm going to prep for my school visit today. From 10 to 10:30 or 10 to 11, I'm going to call the college freshman list for X college. From 11 to 11:30, I'm going to go get lunch. From 11:30 to noon, I'm going to set up at the high school. From noon to 2, whatever, I'm going to do high school lunch, so on and so forth. From 3 to 5, I've got these meetings. From 5 to 8, I'm going to call this high school senior list, right? That's the plan of the day. But then what we would do is review the day prior. And then during the day today, as I go at it, I would track this. So on the left-hand side was the plan. On the right-hand side, we would write down what I actually did. So if I said from 8 to 8:30, I was going to call the freshman Eastern Carolina college list that was assigned to me. But I didn't do that from 8 to 8:30 because I ended up talking to a high school senior who happened to skip school that day and come in the office, let's say. I would write down what I actually did from 8 to 8:30. And over the course of about a week or two of doing this, it was really easy to start pinpointing why aren't certain things getting done. I'd be able to look at it and go, every Wednesday, I kept saying from 5 to 8, I was going to call this particular school, but I also am visiting X school on Wednesday, and it leads me to a bunch of appointments happening from 5 to 8 in the office because that school is producing a lot. Well, I can't visit that school and try to call this list on the same day because if I visit the school, I can't be trying to call anything at the night because I know if I go do a school visit, I get a lot of appointments in the office. It wasn't that I wasn't trying to get the work done. It wasn't that I didn't have enough time. It was just I was trying to schedule things at the wrong times. It also started to identify things that were consuming too much time that I didn't need to be working on. I'd say that I was going to do, whatever from 9 to 10, but in reality, it was taking me from 9 to 1 to get done. Well, everything from 10 to 1 wasn't getting accomplished in the plan because I was still working on that thing that was only supposed to go from 9 to 10. So I was also misrepresenting how long things actually take. So an easy way for you guys to do this is just take, and this is something, no technology is gonna help you on this unless you draw it on like an iPad or something like that. You want to literally take a calendar, like a daily planner, and track yourself. So Jen, for you, for like this whole week, and I would even suggest next week, 2 solid weeks of this, sit down. And what I would do is I would sit down at the end of today. Like you're closing out your Monday right now. We get off this call. It's 6 o'clock at night for you. You're getting ready to wrap down the day. I would say, okay, what's my plan tomorrow? Let me map it out really fast. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this from this time to this time, this from this time, right? Draw a line. Then all day tomorrow, as you're going through the day, periodically just go back and update. What did I actually do? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? And don't panic. Do it again on Wednesday. Do it again on Thursday. Do it again on Friday. And then at the end of the day, Friday, look back at the week and see if you start to see any patterns. Make some adjustments. Do it again next week. And I promise you, a good week, 2, maybe even 3 weeks of doing this, you'll start to identify really quick. I can't get videos done this week because I'm trying to get them done on Mondays and I'm on Zoom calls all day on Mondays. There ain't no time to get any videos done. Right? I can't get any offers out on Thursdays because Thursdays I'm tied up with, X, Y, and Z. And no wonder I'm not writing any offers. Does that make sense there? And when I feel like my days are going or my weeks are getting haywire, this is a kind of a system that I'll go back to every so often and do just to see how well am I actually operating in my plan versus all over the place saying I'm going to get this stuff done and then not actually getting it done. I saw you unmute, Jen. Did you have something?
I mean, part of it is also like how much time I waste, and not necessarily scrolling through social media is wasteful because I actually feel like it will help me, but maybe I cut it in half, because being, seeing what people are up to, finding wholesale deals on social media, whatever it is. So, it's kind of also to keep track of that for me.
Yeah. And it'll show because if you spent 3 hours scrolling through Facebook, when in reality, you told yourself you're going to do it for maybe a half hour, right? I plan to do it a half hour.
Right.
And then you're honest with yourself and you're like, actually, from like noon to 2, I pretty much was just on social media. Be real, right? You'll start to identify those things.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Let's get this back. I gotta find where I was at. Some of you guys are John, create avatar for absentee owner. Easy, right? When I say easy, I don't mean necessarily the task easy. It's just easy to identify. Boom, that got done. Create copy for landing page for direct mailers. Same thing. Boom. That's two very distinct things to knock out. Jordan, spend 2 hours a day on our task list. Posted a task list. I did see your task list. So you're saying, hey, 2 hours a day, I'm just going to focus on whatever's next task. Boom. Grab one of them, get it done in the 2 hour window. I like that. Bob, is that a technical term? Don't know what you're talking about there. Lorraine. You guys are okay. All right, so it seems like that's everybody threw something in. Bob, when she said all that shit, got it. All right, so questions. Who needs some help with something at this point for your week, or wants to throw some ideas out, brainstorm, wants to ask the group for some advice? I want to open up to that for a little bit here. Sophia, first hand up, go for it.
I would like to start making some videos to be like a backup for the blogs that I currently have. So what sort of systems or apps or anything like that can I use to edit, or, you know, just to add those extra pieces to make them a little bit more fun?
Depends on, I'm going to give you two answers, right? Depends on if you've got the time or the patience to sit down and do a bunch of editing. If you don't, my suggestion is one of two things. You can get on Fiverr or Upwork and find a video editor for pretty cheap per video. I've had some in the past where I tell them, hey, I'm going to produce, you know, whatever, 4 a month of these, 1 a week. And I'm just going to record them raw, send you the files. I want you to make them look nice, send me back the good stuff so that I can upload it to YouTube. And I've structured deals where I've paid anywhere from $15 to $30 a video to get edited. Again, it comes down to how creative, how much stuff you want added to it. Right? That's one way of going about it. The other way that I say out of the gate is just grab your cell phone, turn it landscape, record yourself, and upload it. And don't worry too much about the look and the feel of them. If you record yourself with, you got an iPhone, a newer iPhone, like newer than a 9. Audio is really good on these. If you record it in landscape, the selfie style like this, even if you bought yourself a cheap little tripod, set it up on your desk or something, and you're close to it, the audio is going to be really good. That's all that really matters with it out of the gate. Just get in the rhythm of doing it. And once you got a rhythm and you get some traction, then worry about enhancing it, taking it to the next level with some post-production, some post-editing, all that kind of stuff, right? I've seen it happen too often. We want to get into video, we want to do some stuff, and all of a sudden we turn into the John Mays, and we worry too much about, not the John, this is you, but we worry about that, right? We see somebody like John who's got this amazing setup, and it looks phenomenal and professional, and then we're like, well, I can't do all that, so I can't do video. John probably can attest, when he started doing some video stuff, it didn't look like what it looks like behind him right now. His gear didn't look like it had, right? Just get started on it, right? Then start worrying about the other stuff. Now, blogs are a great place to start because you don't have to think too much. The blog's out there, shoot the video about the blog. Read the blog really fast. You use the same title as the blog, and you basically are getting on a video to summarize what the blog says. You're saying the same thing that, I'm not saying read it. Don't take it and put it in like a teleprompter and read the blog. This isn't audible book, right? But you could be able to read a blog, have a general understanding of what the heck's being talked about, what's said in there. Maybe there's a couple snippets that you really like that you're going to reiterate on, but boom, it's your voice saying what the blog says. It's mainly for SEO because we're playing the YouTube side, right? And the other side is we're playing for that person that would much rather watch a 3 or 4 minute long video than sit down and read. right? The me's. I land on a page and there's a video or a bunch of content, I'm going to hit the video. I'd much rather just hit the video, and even if I don't watch it, just listening to it. Better than me sitting down and reading. Make sense, Sophia? Anybody else got something on that? I know a couple of you guys are doing a lot of, like Lorraine, you guys have been pretty active with, especially on your podcast, and you didn't want to out of the gate.
Yeah.
Liz, Marie, you guys are doing it too.
So that leads me into the question that I was thinking about asking, because that's one of the things I've been struggling with. So with the podcast, since we're using StreamYard, it'll push it directly to YouTube and to Facebook. So I don't really have to do anything, but I've been struggling with the audio part. So trying to figure out how to edit it and get it onto Spotify. Now it's like 10 episodes. So the more we do, the more that kind of backlogs for the audio part, to the point where I'm just like, so I don't know if I should take your I'd probably take your suggestion and go on to Fiverr and just see if someone can just edit the video, the prior ones, and then I can take it over once we're caught up. I don't know if that might be, and I don't think it does need a little editing, because we have the intro video and then I need to add another video. So that's what's been holding me up with that. So yeah, maybe I'll just outsource it.
Oh, wait, see, now I need an intro video. Thank you, Lorraine.
No.
I'm kidding.
No, they didn't have any of that when they started.
And we are still going to get you on the podcast too. So just as a heads up.
I thought you forget. Okay.
Sophia, and Lorraine, Chris and I started doing content, and we were concerned about how professional or unprofessional it looked. And once we looked at it, we'd look at the screen and started giggling at each other, saying, well, it's cheesy, but it'll work, you know? And the fact is, it does work, and it doesn't have to be professional. It's more homegrown, and, you know, we make mistakes and we laugh, and but I think we're doing it, and I tell you what, it takes the pressure off having to think that you got to be perfect to do this. So and you tend to relax and do a better job.
I'm surprised you guys were trying to figure out how to make it professional and all that, and then you chose to put the Sasquatch as the front man.
He's better looking than I am.
I'll have to find the links too. I'll post it in the Facebook group. It'll give you guys a really good laugh. Back in the day, this is like going back to 2000, I think 14, 15. We started our own version of like an HGTV show. It actually got us noticed back then from HGTV. We interviewed for them. We just wouldn't give them the drama that they wanted, so we didn't get a show. But we called it Flipping in the Valley. And I used to make our guys from our construction staff follow Nathan and I around with an iPad. They'd walk around the job site like this with an iPad, and we would tape cue cards, like things that we wanted to make sure we said, we would tape them on here so that while they were standing here like this, we would see what we were supposed to say or what we wanted to actually, you know, what's that piece about? And I mean, they're the cheesiest freaking videos ever. But we started doing them on a pretty decent, like pretty consistent basis. And neighborhood areas or places we would go into, somebody would be like, wait a minute, that's that Flipping in the Valley people. Or that's that weird flipping thing that I saw on YouTube. Because it started to get traction and started to get noticed. And like I said, we ended up going HGTV for a little while with the interview process. And they asked us a question like, how much drama do you guys have? You know, how many times in your flips do you have a lot of problems? And we're like, not that many. We have pretty good systems. And they didn't like that answer for the type of show they were going for. But so we didn't end up getting the offer. But I say that because those things are still out there on YouTube. They're still floating around. They're the cheesiest, dumbest videos ever. But back then, they worked really well. And we thought we were cool as hell, you know, doing it.
Those are the best ones. My favorite ones are when I like walk into one of my houses and my contractors are humping each other and I catch them on camera. Like those are the best videos. People love that shit on Facebook.
Jordan, I think that's a different kind of video that you are describing.
Well, they're just goofy and they know when I'm coming, so they do weird shit like that. But it's great for TV.
No, I was just making a joke because you was like coming in and humping each other. I'm like, that's a whole nother video. I don't know.
They're weird, but they all get along, so it's all good.
Contractors gone wild.
Yeah, I like. Ooh,
There's an interesting spin right there to make yourself stand out in the market.
yeah, no kidding. That'd be great. They'd be down for it too.
Who else has got a question or something you'd like to hear some feedback from the group? Hopefully Sophia got some good ideas now. Just got to do it. Just do it. I tell Lorraine that all the time. Anybody else anything?
I got something cool that just happened.
What just happened?
At 4:45, somebody actually booked a like real estate solutions call through our website, and that's never happened. Like a seller, most likely a seller.
Truly organic, huh?
Yeah. I don't know why it even allowed, my calendar allowed them to schedule during this call, but I'm waiting for them to jump on this Zoom right now. So see how that goes.
Sweet. I love it. Anybody got anything? If not, we'll call it a day. You guys can go attack your week. Okay. Well, with that, I'm gonna
Good.
got your priorities for the week.